Welcome to 5 Minutes for Good, a place for leading voices to share initiatives that go beyond the commercial. In this second series, we're focusing on travel in Asia. We'll hear the flip side and discover what the travel industry is doing for good in that region. Following a short intro, guests will be given their 5 minutes for good, firing up the engines, inspiring action, and making us think that was 5 minutes well spent.
5
minutes for good.
Welcome, Justin Reid, to your 5 minutes for good. Thank you for joining this series of the podcast. Justin, before we get into your 5 minutes for good, tell those who don't know you a little about yourself.
My name's Justin Reid. I've the delightful title of Senior Director of Global Partnership Solutions for TripAdvisor, looking after EMEA and APAC. Been a TripAdvisor 11 years, lots of ups and downs since then. The travel industry's had lots of ups and downs since then, but generally it's been a pretty fun ride and it's a very nice company to work for. And I always reference when we talk about things that are for good, I always talk about the Sunday night feeling when you're going to bed on Sunday night, and do you get a knot in your stomach, or do you go to bed thinking, right, well, next week I'm going to try and hopefully at some point make someone have a better holiday. It's quite a nice job to be in and quite a nice industry to work in. So it's a nice place to start.
That's a great way to describe your job, and the enthusiasm definitely comes through in whatever you just said there. But Justin, this is the moment when I say to you, this is your 5 minutes for good. Over to you.
Okay, well, I think keeping with the ethos of what TripAdvisor is about, has been about, and ideally always will be about, it is about that idea of giving people the peace of mind that on what will probably be their most expensive purchase of the year, if they're not buying a new house, that they can do this with the peace of mind that other people have done it before and have given unbiased reviews that, take away that angst that you might have before you push that book now button. So I think there's two areas that I really like to drill down into. One is like stuff for good on the businesses side, and stuff for good on the individual, the consumer side. So on the businesses side, what I do love about TripAdvisor is it is that unbiased reviews that people can reply to, people can write about, and then the owner of that said business has the right to reply, and then it ends there. Okay, so someone can leave a review, and the owner can come back and say either "Thank you very much, that was a wonderful review, I really do appreciate it," or they can go, "I'm sorry, didn't enjoy your experience, but hopefully if you come back the next time." What it does not have is this endless, and I think it's called Godwin's law, where eventually every conversation on the internet ends with someone else being called a Nazi. So we don't have that. It's a nice thing where people can leave a review and then someone else can see that review, but then the owner has the final word, as it were. So that's very nice. I think as well, when it comes to reviews, it is about the democratization of intelligence, or the democratization of preference. And one of the beautiful things, and I've done this myself many times, and actually in Asia, is a 5-star rating of a shack at the side of the road that might be grilling fish fresh from the sea. You might be stood up, you might be stood on or sat on a rickety bar stool. That can get the same 5-star as like a Michelin-starred restaurant that might be serving 12 courses and you have 7 different waiters. And it is very much that thing about, a 5-star is how the person feels when they're experiencing it. Does it exceed expectations? Is it the best fresh fish they've ever tasted, albeit there might be like in a more down seedy sort of type area kind of thing. But it is that idea of, it is my opinion right now what I'm going to award 5 stars to. So I think that's a wonderful way for small businesses to really rise to the top and not have to have whatever a Michelin star might require for it to be awarded. It is that person's opinion of what they want to do right there and then. So I love those two aspects from a business's point of view. From a consumer point of view, we do a lot of research every year, and the one that really stood out for me, we ask our audience, what's going to make you travel in the next year? What's the things that really motivate you? And it comes back on this long list of various things, some of which I've never heard of. moon bathing or something like that. I don't even know what that is. But the one that really stood out to me and really resonates is this idea that people now want more multi-generational travel. And I think of myself, I'm in my mid-50s. My mum, bless her, probably got one more trip left in her, one more international trip left in her, rather. And my sons, her grandchildren, are of the age now where they actually want to go on holiday with their grandparents. They actually really enjoy, they're actually in their teenage years, but they enjoy looking after their grandparents. They're good fun. It's almost like going away with your friends. So this idea that me sort of stood in the middle, I'm looking back at my childhood and remembering the holidays that I had when I was younger, which would never have involved a mobile phone, would never have involved anything like that. It was just absolutely about getting your feet in the sand, digging in rock pools and stuff like that. And those memories have stayed with me ever since. And I think the idea of putting those three generations together with me and them, it's me having my memories. It's my mum creating new memories for her with her grandchildren. And it's the kids creating their own memories themselves about putting that all together. And I think that insight, that piece of research that our audience told us has really given me a lot of excitement about the future of travel and how we can get back to real experiences, people having real fun. And it's what it's all about.
Justin, that's fascinating. Two things. I'm going to remember Godwin's Law. It sounds like you had the same childhood holidays as me with rock pools and, you're right. They're just gold, aren't they?
They certainly are. Certainly are.
Well, thank you for that. That was absolutely wonderful. You really painted a fantastic picture, and it's really, really good to hear that. Now, before we close, it's time to drop your guard and go a little bit off-piste. If there was one thing you could do for 5 minutes that isn't necessarily for good, what might that be?
Right. Nothing. My mind has gone blank. Well, I suppose I try to think of when are my best, what are my best days? And what's been the lead up to those best days? And what's been my worst days and what's been the lead up to those worst days. And it probably is directly correlated to screen time on a phone. And if I look at my phone, I get the old pop up at the end of the week and said, you average this week, sometimes 5 hours. If I can get that down to you average less than 3 hours a day, it almost correlates exactly to how well that week has gone. So it's not it's cause and effect, I suppose it is a little bit, but I find that my best weeks invariably come when that screen time has been below 3 hours a day. And I think that is the good. The bad is when, whether it's doom scrolling, whether it's game playing, whether it's my Duolingo, whether it's Wordle, not all bad things, but I think it definitely comes into that area where less screen time, more face-to-face time is good. So therefore, 5 minutes for bad would be the reverse, spending all the time just head down looking at a phone.
Well, I agree with you there. I'm a big advocate of that as well. Well, this is where I say, Justin Reid, thank you. That was 5 minutes well spent.
That was 5 minutes well spent.